Hello, and welcome to Tunnel Talk. I'm your host, Noah Rosenfield, and this is episode 2 of Tunnel Talk, the devlog where we talk about the ongoing development of our newest project, Tunnel, and the design decision going into making it. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about the aesthetics of the game, where we're at, and how we got here. Um, actually, the origin of Tunnel as an idea, a lot of the concepts that went into the initial development of this idea. They actually came out of a design assignment I was given during a job interview. And actually, I'll be doing a Medium post about design assignments for job interviews in general, how we feel about them as designers, as developers, the value that it gives to others, the value that it gives to us. Do we really want to be doing them? Like this is free work, and what's good, what's bad, what's excessive. So I'll link that in the description. If you're interested in that, go ahead and check it out. So anyway, comes out of this as a design assignment where uh, it needed a limited input, which is one of our core concepts going into Tunnel's development. And they wanted it to be set in a sort of sci-fi world with space travel and between Earth and like mining colonies, space pirates, things like that. Um, that kind of informed and stayed with us from the start as a possible direction, even though the actual, the system that it is itself of, the mechanic systems that we have involved, there's no true reason why they had to be developed alongside this space theme, just kind of happened to be the constraint for that design assignment. And so the other part of this is why it's called Tunnel in the first place. From that space theme, we were thinking about sort of asteroid mining as a kind of direction that we might go with this. And if you think about a drill, which it makes has a circular motion, right, like this, and if you think about this motion as viewed from a different angle, right, I'm going to do the same thing here, okay? And now if I actually convert that into a two-axis, so now I'm just actually waving my finger back and forth. Looks like I'm still making a rotational motion, but actually this is rotation and this is not. So there is some sort of parallel between the left-right movement that you see in the gameplay and this idea of drilling. So there's actually a little bit of a parallel there, motion. Um, and so from there, you know, we've tried to spice things up a bit, and we moved away from asteroid mining um, towards the idea of traveling through hyperspace. Still from point to point, but not so much as moving through the Earth, and that's what's eroding your shield, so much as moving through this sort of antimatter, um, un unnamed but sort of understood idea of hyperspace, right? What is it? So we'll go on to the next to, that's sort of where we're at right now. And well, actually, so the concept art that you see at the beginning slide of this game, including our logo here down below, and the original concept art, here it is by the great Melody Gann. Definitely check her out. We'll show some stuff later on. Um, the inspiration behind these, we had a couple different places that we were drawing from. And one of the first ones is Downwell. That's one of the other mobile breakout hits that sort of had this inverted scrolling mechanic to the camera, and where your gameplay is really, the character is centered and the rest of the level scrolls up past you. Well, anyone who's not familiar, got a little screen share here. There we go. So this is Downwell. I'll go ahead and just play a little bit of this video so you can take a peek. Uh, you know, Here we are. We're falling down. The level's moving up past us. Now this is like an action platformer, totally, very different sort of genre. But in terms of our visual appearance of our game of Tunnel and Downwell, right away you can see that there are at least some similarities in how we're presenting this. So this was definitely a source of inspiration for us. And the pixel art style that's very popular right now, and or I mean, maybe even overused at this point. So we didn't want to do like a straight, pixel art kind of thing, but that definitely that idea of, oh, okay, this is how this works. This kind of limited palette. This might work really well for us. So after we started thinking about this, what we came across next in my research was Matisse Dauvier. And so this Matisse is a pixel artist who does some really interesting work. It's not really like traditional pixel art, I would say. It's got this sort of it's super finely detailed and almost gift appearance, much more like realistic than say something like Downwell, right? Like these are much blockier, much less realism as compared to stuff like this. And yeah, well, I've got some videos here, so yeah, you can kind of see just the difference, but it doesn't come through really great in terms of understanding the resolution. So we'll link Matisse's work in the description below. Definitely check it out. Very cool stuff. And if anybody happens to know this dude, let him know that we're looking to collab with him, because I really love his work. I think it's sort of exactly what we're looking for, potentially, in terms of the vision that I had when we started out. Um, so we moved from this as sort of an inspiration place of the aesthetic, combined with our Downwell, um, and our theme of space travel. Oh, for anyone who hasn't seen it, here is a little screen gameplay mock of what we came from, right? Way back. This is my own take on it. So very very simple. Okay, so we started working with Melody Gann, who is an artist friend of ours, and we provided her a few pieces of concept art to kind of go in line with our idea of uh, this space travel through hyperspace, and your force field is slowly being ground away, and here you are facing down these final moments. Are you going to make it to that shield in time, or is this the end for you? And so that's sort of what we wanted to capture for her in terms of our mood board. So we've got a number of different sort of emotion, images to convey the emotion or the tension or whatever that we're trying to kind of to get out of the facial expression. We provided the gameplay mock to sort of give her an understanding of where we're going. You can see we're still looking at dirt, rock, or hyperspace at this time. We're not really sure where we're going from a direction, but either way, we figure we've got someone in a vehicle. They are like traveling through with this, super, like with their force field. They're going to be in a suit, no doubt, but this is generally where we're going from. And here's a couple mocks of what we thought maybe the helmet style could be: full face, full visor versus full face versus just the visor. And a few here's a few more pieces of work from Matisse, where you can see the the way that the motion comes across. And I really would love to. Can I get this larger? Maybe not. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Okay. The way that this motion comes across, right? Like this streaking motion in this GIF. This was like really, really informative to what I was trying to achieve from a vision standpoint. Even if the final gameplay doesn't look like this, this is the vision right here, essentially. And we've got a few more pieces from Matisse here that really, again, this one I love this. Um, okay, so we present this to Melody Gann. Check her out. She's a tattoo artist and artist in general. Great stuff. Really, really talented. Um, so from this, right, that's the mood board. That we get to our concept art from Melody. Uh, and here, so this is our taken straight from the paper, right? Um, And so from here, we kind of, this is now the point where I tried to take Melody's work, combine it with the sort of vision I had for um, the final product. It's much inspired by Matisse's work, and tried to play around with some pixel art treatments of this image, and different kind of textures and stuff. So here we go. This is like a first pass, and you can see I'm sort of, we're trying to bring up the contrast a little bit, just get it to read a little bit better in a limited color palette. Um, and Okay, so now a couple different pixel art treatments. Um, this one, we tried going with a film grain. It's, again, doesn't really come through quite the same on this monitor, but this one sort of has almost it's like a halftone effect, kind of give it almost like a newspaper-esque sort of appearance. We're trying to bring in the idea of static, actually, is where I was going with this. Then I moved towards something that's actually just much like straight, more like pixel art, more blocky. And you can see we're kind of getting, it's obviously not as good as something that has been intentionally drawn, um, with this style, but we're able to kind of achieve some of the effects that we're looking for just by running the original sketch through some Photoshop filtering. We get sort of a feel, at least enough that we can convey what we're trying to do. And so that brings us to, yeah, and this is, I think, the one that this one here is probably either 5 or 8, are the two that I'm looking at that sort of kind of may make their way into the game at this point to convey uh, the appropriate attention and all of that. Um, so that's where we're at. We might end up going any number of different directions. I think, we're looking to get some feedback at this point. We're going to be showing these around, um, players, publishers, to the public in general. We would love to hear what you think about the art direction that we're going with this, whether or not the themes that we're choosing, whether they kind of align with what you are interested in. We think that as as sort of an action platformer game, that's going to be highly accessible and all of that. We do want something that's pretty, universal. And Yeah, so far pretty happy with how things are coming out, but would love to get feedback. Um, so I think that's everything. Again, we're going to link all of the things that we discussed. Melody and Matisse. We'll link their work in the description, so definitely check them out. And stay tuned for the next episode, where I think we're going to be talking about the prototype, how we built it so quickly, and what we hope to learn and where we're going from here. So thanks again for tuning into Tunnel Talk. I'm Noah Rosenfield, and I'll see you next time.